What is it about me that upsets people so much? I can't figure it out.
You don't lead with compassion.
No,
Like,
I'm not a
that's
buck.
gonna
I'm
make
not a buck
people.
that can be broken.
Yeah, you make people feel bad.
So your feelings were hurt when I said that only women can give birth. That's hurt speech. Your feelings were hurt when I said the fat acceptance movement is unacceptable. That's hurt speech, right?
So you're not saying it's because you don't hate.
Actually, what you should hate is the lie that's making you think that there's glory in being clinically obese when in fact it's the #1 killer in America. That's what you should hate. You should hate the lie. The truth might hurt. Truth does in fact hurt, but it's not hateful, right? So it's hurt speech. And
So
do I engage in hurt speech?
Yes.
Yes. Do people get their feelings hurt? Yes.
You hurt a lot of people's
But I am not
feelings,
engaging in
Candace.
hate speech. I don't believe hate speech exists.
There's no such thing as hate speech?
No.
This is counsel culture. It's all about counseling, not canceling. I hear y'all in the comments. Let's see if we can get some counseling with the one and only Candace Owens. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I guarantee this is probably one of the most commented and heaviest sessions that we are experiencing here on Counsel Culture. But it is a brave place and a safe space to have dialogue freely and ultimately trying to come together so we can heal as a community. There's a lot going on in the world. And the ability to have discourse and agree to disagree. And a lot of these freedoms aren't present in other parts of the world. And a lot of these freedoms haven't always been present here in America. But the fact that we can share our views and our truths with one another, other people comment, other people have whatever opinions. But one thing I must always respect and admire about you is your courage, is your ability to be so outspoken, to be a critical thinker, but also a critical speaker. And not care what people say, but you, as a Black woman, feel like, look, I don't have to be nice. This is what I believe. This is what I know to be the truth. And I'm not going to attempt to babysit or placate or say, just, I believe you should be a little bit more compassionate, but you're saying the truth is the truth, and I'm saying that unapologetically. Where does that come from?
Honestly, I do think I just came out like this. I've always been
other
this
people,
person.
Is your parents like this? Or, I know you say your grandfather is.
Yeah. And I think, by the way, I am extremely nice. Anybody who knows me will tell you I'm extremely nice.
You're a kind person.
But I don't think telling lies is nice. Like, I don't think telling a lie out of compassion is a good thing.
You're hurting a lot of people's feelings.
But it would hurt my spirit to tell someone a lie. So that your feeling is not your spirit. And I'm telling you that, like, that I can't do. I just cannot. I'm not going to have to. I'd have to confess it. I mean, it's a sin. I can't lie to somebody.
Now, are you concerned?
And because it hurts them in the end. So you might think you're doing a temporary goodness by placating them, but ultimately you're hurting them. They can't actually turn around. I had a wonderful sit down with a man named Brianna. He's 22, considers himself transgendered, still presents as a woman. One of the best discussions I've ever had. You would watch it and say, Candace was so compassionate. And he got the bottom surgery as soon as he turned 19. Biggest regret of his life, was crying. It was the only episode I almost ever cried on was listening to this story. And I just wondered, how could he get to this point? And he talked about how, well, he learned about transgenderism on TikTok, and then he found a doctor on TikTok, and everyone told him in school it was going to be great, and all he had to do was like start living out this dream. And then he said he started following all of the trans accounts that had tons of followers, and it was this dream to just be a big star like some of these trans accounts, I guess, that are on TikTok. And it was a very interesting discussion because right into the beginning, I realized we got to bring back cigarettes.
What?
Let me tell you why. Adolescence is normal. We all want to do something bad when we coming of age. We want to do something. We want to rebel, right? We used to just smoke cigarettes, right? In the 80s, they were just smoking cigarettes. Now, to be adolescent and to rebel, they're changing their genders. They're like, oh, I don't want to be like my mom, and so I'm non-binary. I'm not bound by gender. No, this is who I am. You have that same, that's
What if
normal.
they
You're
really
gonna
believe
no,
that?
they don't, because their brains are not developed. So this is who I am. I'm gonna tell my parents, I'm like, oh man, can we just go back? I know in the 90s, the campaign, we stomped out cigarettes. Maybe we should bring them back so kids are experimenting with like tobacco and not experimenting with their genitals. Because that's where we are now in society. That's what they're doing now to stand out. And so going back to Brianna's story, Brianna got the bottom surgery. It was an absolute disaster. It was essentially Frankenstein. And listening to him tell the story, everyone should go watch that. Like my sit down. I wish I could remember Brianna's last name. If you find it, Savannah, just shout it. And he's through tears saying to me, no one told him no. Everyone just wanted him to feel good. Like, how much I wish that Brianna, and when he reached out to me to come on my show, he said, I'm trying to think to God, like, why this happened to me. And I'm thinking maybe it happened to me so I could share my story, So people, what is it? Ivy, Brianna Ivy. And in reality, I assessed him pretty quickly. He was just gay, for real. He was just gay. And I said to him, do you think that you were just gay? But he said early on, he thought his dad didn't want to have a gay son. So he tried to be a woman. And then everybody said, yes, 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 yes. Compassion, 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 compassion. And then he cut his dick off.
But that's
and you know
not
what?
the compassion.
You don't get to undo that. But that is compassion. That's what you're talking about.
No.
This is what Brianna believes. You're like, what if he believes it? I'm sure he did believe it. He believed it so much that he went to a hospital and got his bottom parts removed. And he deeply regrets that now, because nobody was the adult in the room who stopped treating him like a toddler and said, hey, that's a cosmetic procedure. You are never going to be a woman. You can change your name. You can buy yourself some tits, but you're not going to be a woman. Somebody should have said that. So I want to be that voice, because if me sitting down with Brianna stopped a million kids from listening to their compassionate friends and their compassionate teachers and the compassionate media, then I think I'm doing the Lord's work.
So in doing the Lord's work, are you concerned about being silenced? Because I know you experienced something similar to what I experienced, and it was hard on you. It was hard when people were calling you anti-Semitic, or when financially and you were affected. Your life, or what we know as your livelihood, was threatened to be taken away from you because of not only something that you didn't say, but that a rhetoric or something that was placed on you that was untrue, but it was easily digested because people kept saying it, and there was articles written, and therefore we almost, in that setting, we almost didn't hear from Candace anymore for a while until, I don't know what actually happened or what conspired, but in that process, I felt like there was a certain time that you actually were really almost canceled.
No.
You don't think so?
No, they wrote their articles.
But no, let's be honest. Let's be honest, though, because there's someone like
you can only truly be canceled.
That shit affected you.
Yeah, it impacted my life.
Yeah.
And look,
you're stronger now.
Yeah, I always say this to people, and I hope people, if you take anything away from this discussion, that it's this: God is looking out for you. And a lot of the times when you are going through something and you can't really comprehend it, and if you know that you did nothing wrong, then just give him a little time. And genuinely, when I was going through that, I was thanking God, because I knew whatever was around the corner, whatever he could see that I couldn't see, because he's the great mathematician. So sometimes he has to take negatives in your life. There's a plus there, then there's a random negative, a division. You go, what's going on? There's some equation that I can't see that God can, right? And so if he hit me with the minus, I knew it was because there was a calculation that was perfect and it was divine. And I had that strength because I have faith the entire time. I took the time off and I was like excited again because I love being in the driver's seat of my life. We get to bring the show back, get to bring the team back, it gets to be my vision. And I was studying with a priest, got to actually devote more time to the Bible. And yeah, I don't know. I could care less. Rabbi Shmuley? What? Like calling like Rabbi Shmuley? I tried to get him on my show, by the way, last week. He's a joke, And so to the extent that you're going to threaten my life, you're going to put me on a list, you don't have power. You have no power. And that is what drives them crazy. I won't give them power. You're not handing me 6 steps to get back my life. I will rebuild that from one brick before I let you think that you're the God in my life. And so that's to everybody. Right? You can't cancel Candace because you didn't create Candace. So until Christ returns, there's nobody capable of canceling Candace. You're not my creator. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that, I think, is ultimately what drives them crazy, is because they're so used to having control over people because of how much money is being paid to them. Oh, well, all you got to do is toe this one line. So for me, I started feeling like when Rabbi Shmuley, who we're talking about here, was attacking me, all I had to do to keep things copacetic was to like be okay with Palestinian kids being blown up. I wasn't okay with it. I'm still not okay with it. Again, I could have done the thing, but a piece of my soul would have gone. And so I can't go to sleep like looking at these little Palestinian girls being blown up. You know, I have images of that. I was 9 months pregnant when I was looking at these images. They're the same color as my kids. My kids are mixed. No. So if the price of telling the truth that when Palestinian innocent children are murdered, it's sad. If the price of that is I got to have some articles written about me and I got to be called anti-Semitic, that seems like a pretty cheap price for saying the right thing.
Is there any line, because a lot of what you say has been deemed as hate speech? How do you determine when you say things very forcefully, sometimes aggressively, sometimes unapologetically, how do you say that's not hate speech? Even because you can still speak truth and be hateful.
Just because you hate it doesn't make it hateful. Okay? That's what people should know. Just because you hate it doesn't mean it's hateful.
That's a bar, but that's you.
I should have been a rapper.
you spun it a little bit.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
But no, but like
it's you can.
So
hate,
what would be
can
your
hate
definition
anything.
of hate speech?
I don't believe hate speech exists.
There's no such thing as hate speech?
No. Just because I am saying that
we know there's a lot of hateful things that
you
one
can say something
about.
Hateful.
Yeah,
yes,
that's hate speech.
But it's not hate speech.
Okay, so let's remove that term. To say things that people think some of the stuff you say is hateful, that it's filled with hate, even though you are only saying it to be the truth. Do you not? Is it? They're not.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a truth that is in fact hateful that we can all agree upon?
There's some ugly people on this planet, and if I call somebody ugly, that's hurtful.
It's hurtful.
And therefore, hurt there's hate in that.
Hate and hurt are two different things. We should separate those, right? So
then let's go to hurtful.
I
yeah, because no one hates ugly people.
Yeah, I'm not like, I hate this person, like whatever. And I wouldn't go up to a person. By the way, people are attracted to different things. It's at a different time.
Subjective.
Like that. You know that you could actually say.
Okay, so better example, because there's things that we hate, that we despise, that if we speak on it. It can, that's the thing, it can still hurt someone.
So you're talking about hurt speech. And that's what we should call it.
Maybe that's it.
It's hurt speech.
It's hurt.
So your feelings were hurt when I said that only women can give birth. That's hurt speech. Your feelings were hurt when I said the fat acceptance movement is unacceptable. That's hurt speech, right?
So you're not saying it's because you don't hate.
Actually, what you should hate is the lie that's making you think that there's glory in being clinically obese when in fact it's #1 killer in America. That's what you should hate. You should hate the lie. So the truth might hurt. Truth does in fact hurt. And I could have just jumped into Lizzo thing there. But the truth can in fact hurt, but it is not hateful, right? So it's hurt speech. And do I engage in hurt speech?
Yes.
Yes. Do people get their feelings hurt? Yes.
You hurt a lot of people.
But I am not engaging in hate speech because I don't hate a fat person. I want them to be better. I don't hate a person that is suffering from gender dysphoria. I want them to know you are suffering from a mental disorder and I want you to get better.
So what about all of the people that say that you're only doing all of this for your own personal gain? So you're operating in hurt that you get to benefit from. So therefore, and the same entities that you despise, that are controlling media, that are, making us do demonic and satanic things, you're in that same boat because you're profiting off of hurting others.
Wow. So two things I would say. The first thing is we just 10 minutes ago talked about how my whole life got blown up because
Yes.
I said some hurt speech, I guess,
Right.
about Palestinian children, and people got upset about that because it
Right.
was a sensitive time. But I continue to say it because it's true. The same can be said for when I was speaking against Black Lives Matter. The money was not in speaking against Black Lives Matter, okay?
Right.
They were giving money out by the millions and billions for people that would just say the thing. So
Right.
if I'm trying to make money, I'm really going through a painful process to do it, okay? Because the easier thing for me to be would
Or
be a
even
puppet. Like I said,
Yeah.
they would have me on the cover of every magazine if I would just say, fat women are beautiful and I don't know, I guess genocide is sometimes okay because people were really upset when I said genocide is always wrong. If I said Black Lives Matter is amazing and everyone should go out and burn down the neighborhoods because justice and we need reparations, they would put me everywhere. Instead, like I said on Power 105, no one would have me on their show for years
Right.
other than you who
Right.
extended and we just never were able to make it happen. I was boxed out for that. You don't make money. The easier way to make money, I've made money. The easier way to make money would have been to just go along with culture.
But I'm just talking about outside looking in. That again, because I think the point in which I was making is that you have a strong voice, you're very powerful and influential, and you're not sending out pleasantries every day.
Yeah, well, because
You're
there's
saying
power in
something
truth.
like and it looks like whether it's financial, whether it's egotistical, it looks like you're doing it for your. And I'm just I'm not saying I personally believe this, but for the ones that can say you're doing this for your own personal gain, and you're hurting so many people in the process.
No, I'm doing it for his gain.
So you're doing this for Jesus.
I'm telling you right now, you gain personally when you get right with God. I'm telling you. So yes, that is correct. I do have personal gain for speaking the truth.
You're trying to be in the front of the line in heaven.
I'm telling you, there is, and it's amazing, and people don't realize it's so easy. Like this book has so much wisdom. Just go read and live the Bible, and your whole world, and the confidence that I think, and which frustrates a lot of people, that it is within me. Genuinely, it's because I'm saying the truth. It's so easy. It's so easy, and yet people have complicated it so much.
So is the goal to get more people to believe what you believe?
No, my goal is for people to recognize that there is objective truth, that there are spiritual forces at play, that there are spiritual forces operating on them every single day, and the only way that they are going to be able to get over that evil, to fight that evil, right, is to recognize that evil is happening and that evil begins with a lie, okay? A lie. Do not accept lies in your life. You should not accept lies. You should not tell lies. You should not accept lies. You should always pursue the truth. And as an indication, whoever the media hates is likely probably trying to tell you some truth, as a rule.
So what about the people that say Candace Owens is living a lie?
Living a lie how?
Because the things that you believe they don't believe are true.
You know, of all the things I've ever been accused of, being a liar has not been one of them. In the media, they'll call me a self-hating, but they call me everything. They never call me a liar.
They call you a self-hating black woman?
Yeah, that was as soon as I hit the scene. Self-hating black person. How could you not be supporting BLM? They've called me a black white supremacist. Let me just. I've caught these things like Pokemon balls. I could show you. I could tell you which level Pokemon I caught. I've been called a self-hating black person. I've been called the first black white supremacist. I've been called a homophobe. You saw Don try to ask me the other night. I've been called a transphobe. I've been called anti-Semitic. I've been called a Holocaust denier.
Why do you think you've been called all these things?
Because there's something I've said that was hurt speech to each person. I don't know. If I
said somebody,
yeah, like it changes. So it's like when I first got into the media space, so to speak, I was saying a lot of stuff about Black Lives Matter. So that's when I earned my Pokemon ball of being a self-hating black person. As I got a little bit further, everyone was on this like trans stuff and women came. I was like, no, they can't. So that's when I earned my transphobe dragon. You know, Don Lemon asked me a question about whether or not I believe he's sinning. I guess I again earned the homophobe Pokemon ball. I went back at Rabbi Shmuley. How dare you have the audacity to go back at a rabbi because he's filthy. He's a disgusting man. It's not because he's Jewish, it's because of his behavior. And I'm not going to apologize for calling him absolute filth because he's considered a powerful rabbi. Okay? The powerful rabbi is a liar. He is disgusting and he has a weird relationship and runs a sex shop with his daughter. So I called him what he was, filth. And guess what I got earned for that? Anti-Semitic. Okay, great. Love this new ball. This is great. Throw it into my collection. Did I lie?
So you get to live with a different level of freedom than most because you don't care how you make other people feel.
I just care if what I say is true. If I hurt somebody telling a lie, I would feel
Really?
badly. Yeah. If I said something that wasn't true, and I would feel badly.
But a lot of your truth is your opinion.
It's not an opinion, what I'm saying. If it was just an opinion, people wouldn't be so upset.
Yeah.
People
See,
have a tricky relationship with the truth. It's
that's
hard.
the gray area because people can say everything that you believe, that you based your life on, everything that your granddad taught you, this whole doctrine of Christianity is a lie.
And now we are back at, I guess, give you an example of something that I have said in the public sphere that people have reacted to that was a lie, or an opinion, rather.
They react to everything you say.
That's a fact.
like that. I don't think you go viral based off of.
I said pornography was a weapon. People freaked out about that.
Because there's some people that got hurt by that. Because there's some people who really enjoy pornography.
More hurt speech.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you have no problem being hurtful.
It's not hurtful. It's just the truth.
Because that's the opposite.
Men are struggling with pornography, and it's not their fault. People understood and studied how men would react when being stimulated by naked images all the time. They brought them into that, and then they made what they think about how to make what they are watching more and more deranged and more perverse. And
Right.
so they are the taste makers, and they are making men more deranged. I'm not saying women don't watch porn as well, but I'm saying that men have a different biological response to it than women, because men and women are different. Sorry, guys. More hurt speech. But yeah, I mean, I tell the truth, and if I get something wrong, I'll always go back and correct it and say, I researched this and this actually wasn't accurate at the time that I said it, but I'm committed to telling the truth. And I understand that upsets some people. It upsets me that you live your life according to lies,
You're strong. You're a strong voice out there.
What is it about me that upsets people so much? I can't figure it out. What did I do?
I could tell. I mean, you don't lead with compassion.
No, I'm not a
that's
buck.
gonna
I'm
make
not a buck
people
that can be broken.
Yeah, you make people feel bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I feeling bad in this room?
Not anybody in this room. I'm talking about, but
they're hearing my hurt speech.
If you're hurting people with what you say, and then you're
I get
unapologetic
it. I guess it's
about
sort
it,
of like sitting down your child and telling them Santa's not real.
that would hurt.
It would hurt.
She's lying.
It would
Santa is real.
It would.
My kids
It
are
would
watching.
super hurt. But at what point do you have to have that conversation? Like, you could be 35 years old and thinking the fat man brought down the chimney. We're not dealing with children. We're dealing with adults. I can pretend and make believe with kids. I just won't do it with adults because, like I said, I'm not your mommy.
Very strong words. Very, very strong take. In moving to politics, or back to politics for a moment, and even the sense that I've heard that they would say Trump would definitely win the White House if he had you as his running mate. Have you heard this? You heard people say that?
Yes, I've heard people say that. I'm not interested. I actually hate politics.
Really?
Yeah, because people lie.
So if Trump called you tomorrow, like, yo, I need you on the ticket.
He just announced JD Vance as his VP a couple hours before. But I'm definitively not. No, I would not have accepted that. I wasn't offered it, nor would I have accepted it, because I have really young children and the years go by fast.
So you're not trying to be political in an office ever?
I never say never, because man makes plans and God laughs. But I would say that right now my focus is being as close to home as possible. And I love what I do. I love being able to impact culture, by simply telling the truth. It's such an easy thing to be able to be so hated and lied about.
The fact that you just have no problem with it is fascinating.
It's freedom. It's freedom.
I'm gonna be honest. You stronger than me, because when people were attempting to cancel me, I've been canceled on every side too. I've said some things that have hurt a lot of people, and I don't like hurting people. So it bothered me. It wasn't even if it was the truth, I wanted them to understand this was my intentions for saying this, or I didn't say this to be hurtful. Forgive me if I was wrong, or my rhetoric was incorrect in how I presented it, because if I hit somebody with a rock that I didn't intend to hit, I gotta apologize for hitting with that rock. So I'm not, again, like I said, you're different than me. Like, to me, I don't want to hurt people, even if it's with the truth.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't describe it as hitting someone with a rock, right? I would say that truth is a foundation.
Rocks hurt.
And if you are building your life upon without the foundation of truth,
Right.
you're going to fall eventually. So I'm just trying to help you with that first step, right? And so if you can't acknowledge truth, like I said, I'm not your problem in life. That's why you're freaking out on me, is because you know I'm hitting stuff and you're freaking out because deep down, it's not like Candace saying only women can give birth. It's because you can lie to the entire world. You can have the entire world lie to you, but you know you have that second before you go to bed. And you're just like, this is all a farce. And I'm speaking here just because we've been on that topic of trans. Like, this is dress up. This is make believe. This is Halloween, right? So I'm just trying to help you get past that so that you can have a life with real meaning and real purpose and not be treated like a toddler by society. I have faith in people that you don't need to be treated like a toddler.
Who are you to believe that you have that right to tell me how to live my life?
Listen, I didn't assert it as my right. The people are coming to me upset. People are asking me questions and I'm giving the answers.
Because you're a strong voice in the community.
But what do you mean? I do my show, I say what I want to say, and then people go crazy, right? Like I said, I'm not showing up to their space and running up to them at Walmart. So the truth is, it's because I'm hitting a chord that is already there inside of them. They know they're living a lie. They know they're living a lie when they get up there and the fat acceptance and I'm happy and I'm fat. No, you're not. It's hard for you to get up the stairs. I've been 9 months pregnant before. Okay. Everything is harder. Okay. Everything is harder. It's less comfortable when you sleep. Half these people have to wear a breathing mask. You're not happy. But for a moment, you got that momentary happy when the world lied to you and said that, fat acceptance and fat is healthy. And you found a tribe of people that were willing to lie to you. I'm not that tribe. I'm not the tribe of liars, but I want your life to be better. So I don't care. Tons of people that are overweight watch my show. And I talk about, give them personal stories about things that people go through, people in my family. Like, you fall off the horse, you want to get back on. And people that want their life to be better say, I needed to hear this today because I know that it is hard to get started. And like that first time you go to the gym after you've been off for a while is hard, but they need somebody to say that to them.
So ultimately, you're just a motivational speaker.
I am just a motivational speaker. And they call it hurt speech.
So, okay, we'll go here as we wrap it up. Advice. What are you an expert on that you can give advice to?
I have a lot of advice that I give. I do think the first thing is that you need to surround yourself with people that will tell you the truth. That is the first thing. You cannot get ahead in life surrounding yourself with yes men. It doesn't work that way. Eventually a house of cards will fall down. The second thing that I would say is get out of textbooks and start learning real history. And I would start with the history of your government as the first step. Start with declassified CIA documents because it will help you understand things better. And it will give you a healthier relationship with the media. If you are agreeing with the media, find yourself going, yeah, something's wrong. And I think the last thing and the most important thing that I would say is we are in the midst of a war that has been going on. The spiritual battle has been going on since the dawn of humanity. It is a battle. It's not Trump they want. It's always been Christ. And the further you get into history, learn about why the Bible disappeared from classrooms, learn about what Tucker Carlson was talking about why it is that post-World War II, suddenly nobody had faith in the West, and you will realize that that is by design. And so the only weapon that you can fashion against that is the Bible. Like you need to be compelled by faith, because otherwise you're bringing a figurative sword to a gunfight.
Does Candace Owens have any insecurities?
You know what? I shared one with you offline, and I always get nervous about potentially ever having food in my teeth when I do an interview.
That's the only thing that you're insecure about?
So I check my teeth before every interview. But
have you always had this level of confidence?
Yes. I was a really annoying kid for my parents growing up. They say that. They say that I had they had to when I was a kid, close the door and laugh because I would just be saying to them, Mommy, that doesn't make sense. 3 years old. That doesn't make sense, Mommy. Daddy, that doesn't make sense. And so I was always questioning
everything.
Arbitrary authority. I needed to, I'm You can explain it to me, but you can't just do the whole like, because I said so. That never worked with me. I think I was probably precocious when I was a kid, and I always had the confidence to be myself. So I was never going with the crowd.
Does Candace Owens struggle with mental health ever?
No.
You've never had any struggles with mental health?
Well, not never. I mean, I was a teenage girl once.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Make it out of being a teenage girl.
But I mean,
without...
like, as much pressure that you're faced with every day, and like even I can't even see how you do just the postpartum of it all. Of like just like I feel like you just dropped 3 kids and kept moving. Like you never missed a beat.
I don't believe in the diagnosis of it. I have moments, and I think. I mean, I can think of one moment where I physically remember being in the shower and just being like, please, God, I just need a break right now. And it was when the whole stuff was going on with Kanye and the White Lives Matter shirts, because I was postpartum and it was all just kind of happening at once. I had just like gotten back to work and my schedule was 5 days a week. And then we wore the White Lives Matter shirt. And then right after, Kanye kind of went on his tour, speaking about Jewish power. And so they were necessarily putting pressure on me to speak out against him. And I didn't do it because I'm not a buck that can be broken. And I don't let the media determine how I deal with my friends. But it was also, women that have kids know this, you go through this period of postpartum shedding where all your hair falls out. And it was the pressure of all of that happening, feeling like there was going to be a whole threat to my whole life because I was refusing to be broken in this way. And then I just remember sitting in the shower and like, I had the postpartum shed.
Yeah.
And I just remember like holding my hair, just being like, I just can't take anymore. I just need a break.
Really?
And yeah.
So how'd you get better?
You always go through it. Don't think of it as a diagnosis. It's a moment. Like, you're a human. That's another thing. They always try to diagnose everything. It's like, they're trying to diagnose sadness now. Right. You need a pill. Are you sad? That's a human emotion, guys. Yeah. You go through periods of sadness and happiness and elation and frustration. And they're now trying to make you think there's something wrong with you if you don't, feel this way the whole time. You're tired. Sometimes you just wake up and I don't know, maybe your iron's off and you're like, I just feel a little sad today,
Right.
But that's normal.
It's a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, like they're like, you need a pill, and then it's just crazy. Just allow yourself to be a human being. Give yourself a break. Yeah, but I'm lucky right now because I have 3 kids. They're hilarious. They're at the age now where they're just so funny. Like they're they're in the age where they're starting to try to reason, but everything they're saying is actually really quite silly.
Right.
But they think they know stuff, and they're experimenting with words they hear. Like I have a 1-year-old daughter, and she'll just wake up and say like, don't talk to me like that, mommy. And like, they just give you joy. You can't even be mad when you're surrounded by kids,
Trust me, I know. That's why
exactly.
You know
more than anybody. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that again, that's biblical. Trying to push people away from family, but family is the answer, is the security. No matter what kind of a day you have, I know that when your kid sees you and they think you're the whole world.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Kid runs the same mommy and
yeah,
daddy.
it's just like, all right, don't care.
Yeah. Now we talk. Clearly, you've said so many things in all of our sessions, and we know you to be fearless. What is Candace Owens scared of?
It's food in my teeth.
That's an insecurity. What are you scared? You got to be scared.
I mean,
because we'll get back serious for a second because I know you even talked about this on your shows. Like people were like, "Aren't you scared for your life because you're so outspoken?" You're like, "Absolutely not." But there has to be something that scares you.
I mean, when you say scared, of course, I'm going to be a mama bear. Like, but my fears are now my children. I'm an extension of my children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are, I'm now selfless because I have something way more important than me in this world, which are my children. And the only thing, I guess, since right now I'm in such a, once you have your family unit intact, it's weird. Like you just get like wings, It's like, it's not Red Bull that gives you wings. It's like a stable family gives you wings. And because I am in such a stable, committed, faithful relationship and I have such wonderful children, I don't feel threatened every day. In fact, I feel secure. That is where my security comes from. It's real security. All the things that they're telling you not to go for, feminism, you can do bad all by yourself. And, why would you want a kid? The planet's going to be over, climate change. I'm telling you, man, you're just saying no to the things that give you the most courage in life. And that is really when it locked in for me, I think. Like marriage and children is when I've only become more secure over time.
Do you get fearful within your relationship, within your marriage?
No. That's where I just plug in. Like that's my source. You know what I mean? I have a better half and he has made me I mean, it's so
I
much
don't
just,
know what type of individual this is. Who's
he's
the guy
incredibly
married
faithful.
to Candace Owens? You got to be a strong guy.
Very smart, just like intellectual sparring at all times.
How'd you guys meet?
We met, I was in London giving a speech, and he attended a dinner the next night, and it was instant. We got engaged 18 days later
Wow.
from time we laid eyes.
Wow.
And now we were married 5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's one thing you could change about yourself.
Like a thing that happened or a quality?
Let's go with quality.
Gosh, I always try to work on myself. Okay, I would like to make prayer more of a habit. Like, I'm very good at praying on Sundays and praying before meals, but my husband makes like an effort every morning to like pray like I pray on Sundays. So I think my prayer habit would be something that I would change.
Why just on Sundays?
Well, that's what I do.
What made you say Sunday is the day that I'm gonna pray?
Well, because I'm at mass.
Oh.
Yeah, so I
But you don't talk to God when you wake up in the morning?
No, but like before every meal, but like I think that
talk
if
to
I could
Jesus
change
all the
anything,
time.
it would be that I wish that I had realized the Bible was the answer to everything earlier. And I want to be more committed because I have the platform, and yet I don't have like the wealth of knowledge that my husband has, theologically speaking. And I think that would be what I would want to, if I could wave a magic wand and change things, it would probably be, I think now I view it as like a character flaw, like not being as well versed as my husband, and like he can just like scripture off the back of his head. And
we're going to increase Candace Owens' prayer life. We're going to get you a prayer group. There's going to be people that's going to be praying for you. They'll be called. Let's pray. Like literally, my grandmother, 104 years old, lives in North Carolina. They got a prayer line.
I know, I love that.
And they literally be, we going to pray. We praying for this person
I
today.
love that. Tell her to put me in the prayer.
They're going to put you, Corinne Cannon going to put you in the prayer group. Yeah. She's going to make it happen. Last question in this session, and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh, and one more character flaw, actually. This is a big one.
Yes.
I have to, and I have gotten a lot better because I made a conscious thing last year, but forgiveness, I think, is something that I struggle with.
Okay.
Yeah, I can be pretty cutthroat, and that would be the thing that my cousin would say. Who's here somewhere.
So you one of them people that's just like, if you did something, there ain't no coming back.
I just don't want to deal with it. You know, like, and I can be very...
What's your sign?
Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, can you tell?
My mama's a Taurus. Yeah. So that's exactly...
That is what I'm working on right now. I'm working on trying to give people a path back into my life, and I have done
Taurus don't forgive for shit.
I struggle with it. I do struggle with it. But I've made huge strides because I consciously said that at the beginning of last year in January. I was like, what is my New Year's resolution? And I said, I want to stop being that person that when somebody wrongs me, just be like, don't want to deal with you ever again. Like, that's not healthy.
This is your last day on the planet. What are you arguing about?
Arguing?
What's your last argument?
I don't argue in real life.
I don't. That's all you do is argue.
What am I arguing about?
If the last message that Candace Owens has to get out there. This is your last day on the planet. You already did what you're supposed to. Your kids love you. They love your husband. Everybody's straight. But you got one last show, one last post. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm saying to the world.
If you do not have free speech and you believe in the lie of hate speech so much that you will allow them to take away your free speech, you are watching the beginning of the end of your civilization.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another impactful and intense and empowering session of Counsel Culture with Candace Owens. Thank you.